Yo, what's up? Dallas Cowboys State of the Union back at it again with another video. We've been gone for a minute. You know, we've been gone for a minute, but we had to come give y'all another video to talk about some of these new free agency signings and stuff like that. The last video we did, it was about Jason Witten returning to the Cowboys and stuff like that. Of course, now free agency has started. And there are, you know, of course, Cowboys did what Cowboys have been doing these last few years, basically sitting out that first week and
letting the crazy money get spent.
And then doing bargain shopping. And they picked up a very good bargain steal. We got Randall Cobb. Of course, everybody knows that we lost Cole Beasley in free agency. He's going to the Bills. So shout out to Cole Beasley. Cowboy forever. Dallas native or whatnot, go and get your money. We appreciate it. Appreciate all the years that you was here, but hey, he had to go get his money, and I respect that. So a lot of people was wondering exactly what were we going to do in regards to the slot position. But you know, even before the Randall Cobb signing, I was letting people know, hey, listen here, Cooper has played in the slot where he's very deadly. If you look at the divisional playoff game against the LA Rams, that was Cooper in the slot on that touchdown.
Right. I mean, you look at Allen Hurns. I mean, when the big year he had in Jacksonville, I think it was 2015, he had over 1,000 receiving yards. He did most of his damage from the slot. And you looked at the way they used him after they got Amari Cooper. They started putting him in the slot, and he was much more productive in the slot than anywhere else. Even though he does has that versatility to play the X or the Y, I think he is a slot guy. Even though his body build may not scream out slot guy, his route running does.
Yes. So you know, of course, we had him, but a lot of people was like, well, we just want to see a little bit more at the slot position. Well, fast forward, Randall Cobb is a free agent. Amongst a lot of people that's leaving the Green Bay Packers. And he came here immediately when reports came out that he was coming to Dallas to come to the facility and meet with the owners and all that good stuff. I immediately said we have to sign this guy. A lot of people love Cole Beasley, and I love Cole Beasley, but there was only one issue with Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley was only a designated slot receiver. With Randall Cobb, you're talking about a more expanded route tree. He consistently gets separation all the time. He has cooked us numerous times, and we can actually create so many different packages with Randall Cobb versus having a Cole Beasley.
Right, he has that versatility to play inside the slot and play on the outside as an X or Y. When he's healthy, I think he's a little bit better than Beasley, in my honest opinion.
Yes. And he's a year or two younger, I believe.
28 years old.
Yeah, 28 years old. So again, you're getting a younger guy. They got him for cheap, 1 year, $5 million or whatnot, which is a very decent deal. And I think it's a steal. I think this is one of those signings that's going to go really unnoticed because a lot of people feel, oh well, if a lot of teams aren't checking for a certain player or whatever, that means that you can't. That means that the player is not productive anymore. But we look at Dez Bryant. You know, we look at the situation when he waited to go to New Orleans. Dez Bryant, yes, he had lost a step in his production or whatever, but Dez Bryant could still be deadly in the right system. So it really doesn't matter when you get picked up in free agency. It really matters what team you're going to and what system you're going to be put in.
Yeah, it's all about the scheme and the player fit.
Yeah.
Most importantly, I know this is off the Randall Cobb subject, but another under the rating signing that I like is Kerry Hyder. A guy who had 8 sacks in 2016. He did have the Achilles injury in 2017. And then last year, he was just put in the wrong scheme. You know, when Matt Patricia became the head coach, he was put in the wrong scheme in a 3-4 scheme. He's much more dynamic in a 4-3 scheme where he can play both the defensive tackle and the defensive end. He's a little light, about 270-something pounds for a defensive tackle, but he has played that spot before.
Yeah, so that's he's another depth piece.
Exactly.
And now that we speak about linemen, defensive linemen to be exact, of course there's reports of Robert Quinn potentially coming to the Cowboys. They're trying to work out a trade with Miami, which I think is an amazing trade because they're willing to pay half of his salary and stuff like that. So you're getting him
at $5.5 million.
$5.5 million, which is very cheap. This guy, I mean, he has 6.5 sacks last season, 30-something tackles or whatnot.
Right.
So the guy has been productive, and he'll be a great number two to Tank,
right.
Especially since we're not sure when Randy Gregory is going to come back or if he's going to come back.
Right. He also had 19 sacks in 2014.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was 4 years ago, but getting 19 sacks in the season is not easy at all. Also, what this lets me know is if they're trying to trade for Robert Quinn, it's not to say, oh, they're looking to replace Tank. No, they're
trying to find a piece to complement
him.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this: this is also an indictment on Taco.
Yes.
They don't believe he's ready to take that next step forward.
Speaking of Taco, people, look for Taco to be on the trading block this season. Look for him to be on the trading block either now or preseason or at the beginning of the season. I don't believe Taco is going to be on his team throughout the whole season. I just don't.
Because he got a little bit better his rookie season towards the end of his season, and then last season he just took a step backwards. And even when he was healthy, they made him a healthy scratch. Yeah. That should tell you something that they see him every day in practice.
Yep.
And if they made him a healthy scratch, that's an indictment on him that just because you're a first round pick, it don't mean they're gonna give you too many chances. You can't just show up in a facility and expect to perform. You got to work hard at your craft and your technique. A lot of people gonna say, well, we should have chosen TJ Watt over him. Look, at the time of the pick, I understand why they took Taco. Taco is a prototypical 4'3" defensive end. He has size and length, 34.5-inch arms at 280-something pounds. And with TJ Watt, the knock on him was he didn't play with his hand in the ground enough for them to take him, and he was also a 3-4 outside linebacker, so that would have been an imperfect scheme fit.
Right.
I understood the pick at the time, but as time goes along, you want to see him take that step in his third year. The fact that they're trading for Robert Quinn lets me know is they don't think he's ready to take that next step forward.
He's not ready to take that next step.
If we're looking from the naked eye, I don't think he's ready to take that next step forward either. I think Doris Armstrong could wind up overtaking him.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He showed promise last season. Let's see if he can back it up in the sophomore season. But also speaking of defense, they've had some safeties come in. Eric Berry is one of the safeties that was here. They sat with him, did a physical and all of that. He spent the whole day out here, I believe Tuesday, but he left without a contract. Apparently he wanted to go test the water, see what else was out there and stuff like that. But if they get him, especially for the right price, I do believe that that's a very, very dangerous signing if he can stay healthy. Yeah. Because when Eric Berry is healthy, make no mistake, he's one of the best in the business,
there's a reason why the Kansas City gave him that record-setting contract for a safety. Like you said, when he's healthy, I think he's in the same conversation as Earl Thomas. Maybe a little bit better than Earl Thomas because of his versatility to play both safety spots. Yeah. He can play man coverage, he can play zone, he can cover tight ends and slot, and he's good in run support. Yeah. So, you're right. That is, to me, that's a signing to me that can put this team over the top. That could potentially turn this defense from, which in my honest opinion is already top 5 to potentially top 3. Exactly. Eric Berry, get him for the right price. I'm gonna say 1 year, $4 to $5 million. You load that with incentives where he can make up to $10 million, and just see what he got. Because when he is healthy, he's one of the best in the game.
He's one of the best in the business. So hopefully they get that deal worked out. Obviously, if they gave him a physical and all that, it looks like they probably offered him a contract. Well, of course, like with Randall Cobb, he left and then signed to agree to the terms the next day.
What reports were saying that him and his agent was hoping that they could avoid that 1 year prove-it deal. Okay. They wanted the same type of contract that Earl Thomas got, but the problem is
he can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Like for all the marbles we talk about Earl Thomas is he's missed 19 games over 2 seasons.
Yes.
Well, Eric Berry, he's only played in 3 games over 2 years.
Yeah.
And so when you played in that many games over 2 years, yes, there's going to be a lot of pause from teams that's willing to give you a long-term agreement. You know, I'd look at it like this. He could take the deal kind of like what Tyrann Mathieu did last season in Houston. 1 year, $7.5 million, and he cashed on it.
Yeah.
This offseason with Kansas City because they proved to him he could stay healthy the entire season.
So we'll see what happens with that. I do believe that Eric Berry, I got a sneaky good feeling that he's probably going to sign with us. And if he does, I'm going to say watch out. So a lot of these picks, again, where they're not the glamorous, sexy free agency pickups and stuff like that, they're solid pickups. And that's one thing about this team. They draft really well, and they make solid pickups in the offseason.
Don't forget about Christian Covington, too. That's another guy who's only 25 years old.
Yes.
Pro Football Focus rated him in the top 10 as far as coming into free agency as one of the top 10 interior run stoppers and pass rushers. So, you know, you're getting the guy at the one tech position, you know, with Woods and Daniel Ross and all them guys. So I think that's another under the rating signing. They're quietly adding depth along that defensive line to where if they get into the draft, they could use another edge rusher, especially if they don't get Robert Quinn. Yeah. But they're not. Their backs is not against the wall to take a defensive line.
And that's one of the good things that you mentioned about them having solid free agency pickups and stuff like that, because when it comes to the draft, they can go BPA versus, we need this guy, we need that guy. And you see them every single day slowly and quietly plugging up holes for depth purposes and all of that. So when it comes time for the draft, we can really pick a best player available. And that's worked for us these last 4 or 5 seasons. You've seen picking best player available. Again, this team drafts very well. I trust in Will McClay. I trust in Stephen Jones. They have made some solid pickups. And that's the reason why we got cap space this year. That's the reason why next year we're going to have a boatload of cap space. So when you look at it like this team is doing things right. Not to mention most of the team from last year is coming back. So the continuity is still there. Right. You losing minor pieces in Cole Beasley, maybe a lineman here and there, but 95% of the team is coming back. So if you just pick up some sneaky free agency pickups like they've been doing, hopefully we can get Eric Berry, and then if we have a successful draft, the sky is the limit for this team this season.
Right, and the biggest on the O-line, when you mentioned the offensive lineman, the biggest re-signing was getting Cam Flynn back. Yes. Cameron Flynn back. You know, they learned a lesson. They do not want, from Atlanta, where Chaz Green was a human turnstile and gave up 6 sacks. They do not want to experience that ever again.
Cameron Flynn was solid, and I believe at this point we just know Tyron Smith's going to miss a few games every season. He's just going to be one of those guys.
I like the fact it's a 2-year deal. That way you have him under.
You have him under the deal for 2 years. And again, he's solid. He can come in. He's not a starter, but he can come in and spell Tyron a game or two.
And they have insane depth along the offensive line too. You're getting Looney back. You got Erringer, they got in the trade from Kansas City last offseason. You got him back. You got Suafilo. They have insane depth.
Insane depth, and you saw that helped us. A lot of people don't let it be known that our O-line was in disarray all season long, and they managed to get into the playoffs and win a playoff game and get close to winning another one. So you look at it like that. Again, those depth signings matter. People don't think that matters, and that's what we've always been criticized for having great top first starting players, but our depth is trash. So the fact that we're now making quality signings at the depth positions is only going to propel this team higher. So again, the sky is the limit. Listen here, all I'm saying is I hope we get Eric Berry.
Yes, we do get Eric Berry. That's a game changer. I can't tell you how important it is to get us elite safety, especially when he's healthy. And that would get Jeff Heath off the field and, on special teams where he's able to run and hit what he do best.
Oh, yeah. We'll see what happens, though.
We'll see what happens.